Good day to you, Speed Gaming fans. I was just looking at the settings to see if this is actually area rando, and it's not. Oh, I think that's right. Anyway, we are on Speed Gaming. This is the Hardway to Hell tournament for the second year. And though this is, yeah, you could call it the losers bracket or the lower bracket. I prefer lower bracket because we got a lot of winners even in the lower bracket. And today we got cheesyboatride and Audraxys going for it, starting in lower Norfair. And this this starting location has a predictable setup where you're going to be in the Fire Fleas area. You start with Various Suit, and you have to go traverse the Fire Fleas room with nothing else to go get your Morph Ball. I think that's what always has to happen down here. But anyway, we got Cheesy Boat Ride, we've got Audra. Wait, no Morph. Oh, it's bombs. Okay, so then... okay, sorry. So there has... I was confused. There has to be another Morph Ball around here somewhere. Fortunately, there's one other item you can get to in this area, so... they'll find it. You gotta do some tricky wall jumps to get out of that lower Fire Fleas, but... anyway, it's been a great tournament so far. The winner of this match... this is the second to last match of the tournament. The winner of this match will face off against Nick Player, who has just been tearing it up in this tournament. And I know when he played against Judy, he played against me, I was like, oh man, nothing's going to be able to stop Nick Player, but we'll get one more chance with the next race that comes up. You can see Cheesy popping in there to grab a save because bad things can happen as you're trying to get out of Lower Norfair here. Otter finds the Morph Ball at that Hotarubi missile location and is charging ahead. Now with bombs, we can actually grab the Three Musketeers item, and it turns out to be Wave Beam. Okay, not a lot of like progression that you find with the Wave Beam, but it sure is nice to kind of get things moving and can defeat more enemies. Cheesy also is going to take the slight detour to grab this Wave Beam. And Audra is going back to save, it looks like. There's nothing else down here you can get to right now. Oh, Cheesy. We're not counting the deaths, okay? But there's one. Could below Key Hunters be a power bomb to go get the Key Hunter item at Power Bomb's a shame? There we go. It could not be required. Well, good to know. I haven't looked that up. I haven't looked up that particular possibility, but as is the case often with these type of seeds, it's kind of like, boy, it sure feels like if anything is possible, it should be possible to the randomizer, but I'm often wrong in with that kind of logic. But a lot of bad things can happen and probably will with Hardway to Hell, being master difficulty, logic, and slowest progression. There you see Audra dodging the Key Hunters and makes it out the top. This is not area rando, so it's going to be upper Norfair for sure. And you can see coming out in the usual place near Bubble Mountain. Cheesy taking a second death here, but who's counting? Not me. I'm not counting. But if we watch Audra here, we'll see what kind of appears in Bubble Mountain. Some missiles could matter because there are pink doors in this game. Sometimes you have to open them. But see, going up toward Speed Booster, there is a green door for sure, and the Norfair Reserve is also a green door, so this missile only opens up the Wave Beam. And Audra opting to take the lower door, going toward double chambers, so that use the missiles just to open up the second pink door. Just 5 missiles. It could kind of hairy. Okay, so Spring Ball's there in front of Wave Beam. As we see Cheesy setting up for another Key Hunter pass. Dodge first. And the second. Nearly got around that third Key Hunter, but gonna have to reset again. Oh, I missed it. What was that Wave Beam? Watching back the replay. It was another missile. Okay. Oh, yeah, I see. So 10 missiles now for Audra. And thinking about what we're gonna have to do to get out of Bubble Mountain. And taking Cathedral in the reverse direction seems like the fastest way out. Plus, you get to check that item. Now, in Hardway to Hell, notoriously, the Cathedral item is usually something good because you're always having to do hell runs, and you know it can be a really tight spot to find something good. But with these settings, it may not be. Yeah, it's just a missile. Okay, Cheesy is having a little bit of a Groundhog Day here, but gonna try and dodge those key hunters again. Boy, the key hunter went away from him. Maybe that was the manip he had in mind all along. Okay, so he's out. All right, Cheesy. Hot on the heels. I didn't count exactly how far behind it took for the key hunters, but a couple minutes behind here. I'm probably going to do the same configuration of checking the Bubble Mountain missile first. Oh, Cheesy's just going to go to a double chamber first and get the one item. Yeah, that's the thing about doing Hardway to Hell, is you often... Oh, just going for some farming, it looks like first. That's the thing about Hardway to Hell is, you know, so many bad things can happen. Sometimes you just want to choose the worst possible thing first and think that, well, maybe it's just going to be the worst possible scenario first of all. Okay, I missed it. It was at high jump boots. Audra found the power bombs, the first power bombs we've seen. And checking Croc Escape, always a good thought when you're in the area, but there's nothing there. So Cheesy trying to do some tricky wall jumps here. Is this a possible jump? I feel like I've tried it before. I don't know if that's possible, but going up the left side certainly is. Or if it's possible, it's beyond my skill to do this right side. Yeah, 4 items already. Are we sure this is the right mode? This is crazy. Oh, there we go. Okay, Cheesy. Proving me wrong again. Finding Spring Ball, and then has to go back because he doesn't have missiles yet. But not a bad check after all, though it'd be nice to double up on it. You know, the usual thoughts of like doubling up on items and trying to route things nicely is so often backfires in Hard Way to Hell anyway, that it seems like not a bad idea to just try and make a weird play and try to bank on it being right. But Cheesy's probably going to go grab that Bubble Mountain item next. Okay, keep an eye on Audrey here as we go to the top of Red Tower. Using that power bomb to get up Red Tower smoothly. Yeah, and Kai's saying there's probably only 2 more items in the seed. Yeah, we'll see. The joke among the Hard Way to Hell tournaments races so far is that the tracker has actually a pretty easy job, because sometimes the loadout is like 4 or 6 or 7 or 8 major items. So you could be watching for a while and then people not really find much of anything. Oh, so Audra skipped all the top of Red Tower items because they all require supers. Okay, I had to think that through for a moment. I was like, what? Skipped everything. The moat also holding a power bomb. And here's the HBJ on the moat. We can't risk overworking the poor tracker. Yeah, that's right. Audra was able to do that HBJ, horizontal bomb jump over the moat, without even falling in the water once. So it wasn't technically the first try, but able to save it enough times that didn't even fall in the water. And checked that ocean item, but has to go back because, again, the locked out by green doors still, cannot enter the wrecked ship. But it was good to check these items on the way, because sometimes bad things can happen, and you not even be able to get back into that area without supers. So worth grabbing them while it's accessible. And finally, someone has made it to the landing site. And Cheesy also found the power bombs at high jump boots. And is bugging out of Business Center. Meanwhile, Audra finished that IBJ into the criteria power bombs. It could be anything. This is full rando after all. Not even area rando, yeah. Right, and it could be anything, it could be any nothing, because there are only 65% of miners in a Hardway to Hell seed. So there's plenty of empty items. Not just the second suit. In this mode, there will only be one suit due to the suitless setting. And since they started with Varia, it will definitely be a suitless Meridia. But it's also super fun combat. So there will be certainly no plasma beam and no screw attack. So those are a couple other empty items that could appear. What was that? A gauntlet? Just another missile, I think. Oh, sorry. Please silence your cell phones if you're on comms. Thank you, thank you. Somebody forgot to turn off their cell phone. Okay, so then turns out Gauntlet just has a bunch of ammo. Now that 15th power bomb could actually matter because it may end up mattering to do a crystal flash to get out of Dragon. So now that they found 15 power bombs, don't really need to find any more power bombs. So the only ammo we're still looking for really is supers, or more supers if charge beam ends up being hard to find. Might need supers for boss fights. But as far as power bombs go, 15 is really all you need. Okay, let's see what's at B. Oh, see, there's some supers right at Morph Ball, so that's kind of a nice routing by Cheesy. By taking the reverse meme route, ended up finding some supers even before Audra did. And dodged the BT fight. And then there's a missile at Alpha Missile, so these two taking different routes now. We'll be able to kind of see some different checks. Seems like Cheesy took the superior route by doing a reverse meme route and lucking out on finding those supers. Audra will be there soon anyway, but okay, so we've also found Spazer at 230 Missile. Oh, what was it in the ceiling? Missed it. Right, Crystal Flash Clip might also be required, so that's a very good point. Oh, the ceiling was just empty. Yeah, nothing in the ceiling. Okay, Audra can't really get the Climb Supers item right now, but it's good to check it. Because if you end up coming back here, needing to come back here later with Speed Booster, it's nice to know, rather than doing all that backtracking for no reason. Turns out it's just a reserve tank. Okay, looks like the high five is coming up soon. I don't know if Cheesy would want to meme route again and go do Big Pink, but that is definitely an option as well, rather than going right back up the climb. Okay, Cheesy is going back up the elevator, so these two are going to high five right here, right at the top of the elevator, it looks like. And then Audra's going to find those supers, and then they'll be off to the races. So, as it turned out, with Cheesy going back up the climb here, and probably not going to find anything else too useful. Spazer at 230, but we'll just kind of see how it routes out from here. Oh yeah, and then another super at Old Mother Brain. Oh, I missed that. Audra did find that first. So Audra cleaning up what Cheesy's already seen, and then Cheesy going back up the climb where Audra already was. Cheesy also checking the Climb Supers item. For the same reason we mentioned, you can't really get it yet, but it's worth knowing what's here because, especially with the slowest progression, it may put speed booster far away and force you to come back here. So in a seed like this, it's worth it to check everything. Audra also grabbing those power bombs, Billy Mays, though that puts him at 20. Yeah, a couple of nice runners here, for sure. Alright, so Audra making their way past the Morph Ball location, finding those supers, and Cheesy's going into 230 to grab that Spazer we already saw. And guessing Audra's going to go toward Pink, Green, Brinstar, and go grab some of those checks we have not seen yet. So Audra has quite a lead coming out of Lower Norfair first, and went up Red Tower, while Cheesy went reverse meme route to the Retro Brin first and found those supers. So things that Cheesy is doing now, we've already seen from Audra's side. But keep an eye on Audra's. We see some new checks appearing here in Big Pink. Audra has bombs and power bombs, so there's not really any fear of running out of power bombs. Cheesy grabbing the power bombs from BT and gets locked into the BT fight. Possibly thinking that he really wants to have those 15 power bombs for a possible Crystal Flash, or multiple Crystal Flashes, as someone has mentioned. You might need to do Crystal Flash clip in these settings, logically. Okay, so some Spore Spawn supers. So far, Audra has not found any major progression in Big Pink. But Cheesy is also going back toward the ship. And with those supers, it's going to be able to do those ocean, possibly moat check, go up here, do the gauntlet. Okay, so that's all on the table for Cheesy, and we've already seen what all those checks are, not any progression items. But Audra's checking Wave Gate, and it's a missile. We're definitely still looking for progression here, because until either of these runners has enough supers to kill Ridley or Charge Beam, or some way to do Suitless Meridia, we're still going to be farming the early game. Audra picks up some supers in front of Mission Impossible and then dives in. As for Cheesy's timer, I couldn't tell you what happened. They are racing on race time, so we'll be able to pull the official times from there as well. But I expect these two are pretty well synced up on the timer. They started almost the same time. Yeah, Cheesy finding nothing at Criteria Powerbomb. Sorry, I didn't see Mission Impossible, but it looks like it was some supers, because now Audra's got 25 supers. Was that right? Maybe Mission Impossible was more supers. But no majors. Why is it still 0? Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe got focused on the race, didn't turn on the stream timer. I'm not sure. Audra going into the Edicoons area, some new checks we haven't seen yet. Finding Powerbomb, Reserve Tank. Reserve Tank isn't bad, especially because it's the first tank we've been able to pick up. Audra using those D-boosts to get across the frogs pretty quickly. Yeah, a lot of ammo. Well, you're going to find something, you'd think. There's got to be something around here. All these checks. Not too many majors yet. And the Edicoon's Powerbomb is a blank after all. Okay, so Audra's about to go to this jackpot location, Brinstar Reserve, with 5 items. We'll see if any of those is something good. Otherwise, we're probably going to see a wrecked ship from Audra. Nice thing about using meme route is you're already back up into the criteria area, and you can just go straight to the wrecked ship. Brinstar Reserve is a power bomb. There's an energy tank. Oh, looked like the back item was blank. Or a missile. It happened so fast I couldn't see it. Some of the seeds had mostly empty checks. Well, there is always going to be 65% miners, so depending on how the seed kind of like places them for you, either you get a bunch of E-tanks early or you get a bunch of ammo early. It just kind of depends on how the seed decides to play you. Alright, and now we get a high five here at the top of the Brinstar elevator. And Cheesy's gonna go do his green and pink checks. Meanwhile, Audra milking that lead. Everything that Audra did, Cheesy's also did, except I don't think he went over toward the wrecked ship. He'll do it later, so possibly a slight routing advantage for Cheesy in that way, though he took more time getting out of Lower Norfair at the start of the seed. So Cheesy's definitely got some time to make up, and I'm not sure his routing so far has made up for it, but probably gained a little bit of time back by not having to do those moat and ocean checks that Audra did do. But I think once Cheesy finishes the green-pink loop and ends up at the wrecked ship, we'll kind of see exactly how far apart these two are. Let's just take note of Audra's time once we get to the ocean, and then we'll be able to compare. Going for that HBJ once again. First try this time. So about 2147. Entering the ocean. I'll just take note. We'll be able to compare just where Cheesy is. Due to the lack of E-tanks in this seed so far, it looks like we're not going to be able to see Cheesy trying to like go down to Norfair or something and try and diverge the routes. That just does not seem like a viable play at this point. Though there are checks in Bubble Mountain and otherwise in Upper Norfair that could be open with supers now, you'd basically be committing to going to LN right away. And boy, with only 2 tanks, that'd be pretty risky. Besides, not having anything to do Suitless Meridia, either one of them, kind of means that they're going to want to have to find that before they go down again. But, you know, rando gonna rando, and slowest progression. That's right, they do have Spring Ball, but no high jump yet, so the Spring Ball is not going to be enough to do Suitless Meridia at this point. It's a good point, though. Spring Ball is one of the Suitless Meridia key items. But we're still looking for high jump along with grapple or ice beam in order to make Suitless Meridia possible. So as Cheesy cleans up these checks in Big Pink here. Cheesy with Wave Beam also doing the super setup. When you're just blazing through a seed like this, it's pretty easy to be like, oh yeah, I had Wave Beam all along. I'm just doing what I do normally. Don't always have Wave Beam in this room. Anyway, Fantoon is down. Our first boss fight. Right, this is no area rando and no boss rando. It looks like just the regular game, except they started in LN. Are there any other wrinkles to this this starting location? I don't think so. Nice little time save of using Spring Ball there on that room with Audra. All these little optimizations you see in Audra's movement through some of these rooms, you just know the the rando experience is real. All these rooms being done without high jump boots. You know, you would never in 100% run be doing the wrecked ship without high jump boots. So it's so interesting to see rooms done with such smooth movement with a loadout that you would not normally see from a category runner. But Audra's got a lot of rando experience. Okay, so here's the interesting one. Cheesy gets to red tower, decides to go down. This is definitely a bold play, I would think, because of the possibility of, you know, grabbing whatever's needed for Suitless Meridia down here. High jump boots at Wreck Ship Reserve. Okay, that is a huge logical hurdle here, and I think this is going to be this could be bad news for Cheesy. However, Speed Booster must be out there somewhere. So either Speed Booster is one of these last bits of the wreck ship, or it's down Red Tower and Cheesy's going to find it first. So, I mean, of course, we know how slowest progression can go, right? But, oh, did we skip the attic? Maybe. Skipping the E-Tank and robot missiles is interesting. Yeah, I mean, it could be Audra was just going for the denser checks first and wants to come back, but... Nice strat on getting the Sky Missile there from Audra. Okay, so time to place your bets. Where's Speed Booster going to be? Because it's required to get high jump boots from Wreck Ship Reserve. So this just got real interesting with that check by Audra. Cheesy has no idea where high jump boots is, but he's going to be playing it out, going down here to see if he can find what he needs to beat the game. He's not going to find the high jump boots, but if he finds speed, it's going to be on his mind to go get that Wreck Ship Reserve. Okay, so Audra actually bailing out on the rest of the wrecked ship, knowing that high jump boots is there. But we have no idea where Speed Booster could be. Now, thinking about the lower Norfair implications of this, with two tanks available, I mean, I don't think that is a lava dive that's in logic. 2 tank high jumpless lava dive, even with Varia. Well, it is rando Varia. Oh, good point here. Audra's checking the top of Red Tower items. There's a couple of 3 items here that can be grabbed. And definitely with enough supers now to take down Ridley. So it's not the supers that's going to be stopping the lower Norfair check, but the E-tanks to do the lava dive. Boy, somebody with better knowledge of the logic would have to say, is a 2 tank high jumpless lava dive in logic? There are more items down there at Crate, as we're seeing from Cheesy, and then Ice, the Speed and Norfair Reserve areas of Bubble Mountain. No one has actually checked X-Ray yet, but I'm sure that's on the table. Audra also placing a bomb near X-Ray, as if to say, yeah, I'm gonna come back for this later. Yeah, exactly. I would assume the logic knows the strat to take a flame hit. I'm gonna say 2 tanks is enough. Yeah, I just don't know how it's programmed, but I'm guessing there's another tank out there somewhere. Okay, so interesting here. Cheesy is getting back into the business center and doing the ice beam area checks even before Audra gets back down there. Though Audra knows where the high jump boots are, and that knowledge is going to be an advantage. However, it's very surprising that Audra did not finish all those wreck ship checks, because, I mean, speed could be there, though, you know, the way slowest progression tends to go, they're going to put speed far away. Looking at the tracker, 2 tanks is not enough, but 3 is. Okay, thank you for that. So, to see lower Norfair, we're going to need to see one more E-tank appear. I'm sure it will. We want to see some high jumpless lava dive. Okay, Cheesy striking out here at Ice Beam. Just find some power bombs. Usually in a hard way to Hell Siege, it's great to hoard all these ammo, but once you start with Various Suit, it starts to become too much to carry. But on the other hand, I have to admit that Crystal Flash Clip could be the way to get to Bot Wound. So having extra power bombs for that is not a bad play. So collecting power bombs, even if you already have Varia, actually not a bad idea. Okay, and Crate is down for Audra. Now clean up that area as Cheesy is probably heading to Bubble Mountain next. Here we go. Fine chance that the last tank is Wreck Ship E. I guess we'll see. Yeah, is Speed Booster at the Wreck Ship and Audra left behind? Or is Speed Booster somewhere at Bubble Mountain? Or Lower Norfair? We shall see. But even though Cheesy is the first one making the return to Bubble Mountain here, the knowledge that Audra has of high jump boots being at Wreck Ship Reserve is probably too strong of an advantage that they're not just going to make all this time back up by just gunning straight for it. Plus, the Fantoon fight is already done, which is not a small amount of time lost. So I think what I'll do is take note here of when does Cheesy get to speed. This might be an important item. You know, I always say that, but then there's so many other items that could be a good item. Okay, well, speed doesn't not it. It's not speed. Also, did Audra skip the Ice Beam area already? Okay, just gunning for Bubble Mountain, I guess. Banking on the fact that speed is as far away as possible. Welcome, XYZ. I see you're using the Shack Tool emote. Oh, look at this. Audra is going straight to Norfair Reserve. Well, Cheesy has not actually done Wave Beam yet, I think. Oh, that's right. Okay, Audra grabbing a missile, and the last item is nothing! Oh, so it's not even here. Speed Booster is not in Upper Norfair. Oh, it could be a Croc. Okay, there's Croc. See, of course, I always forget about Croc. What is left to finish the seed? They're going to need to have something to do Suitless Meridia. And one more E-Tank. We happen to know high jump boots are at Wreck Ship Reserve, but no one has found speed yet to be able to unlock it. Audra was the one who spied it, and Cheesy does not know where the high jump boots are. Yeah, and there's different ways of getting through Suitless Meridia. So far we have Spring Ball, which on its own is not enough to do any Suitless Meridia, but once we have those high jump boots locked behind speed, it truly is a race to Speed Booster. Meanwhile, Cheesy's going to go over to here at Norfair Reserve, which was already checked by Audra, so these two are just kind of like trading different paths to the same stuff. Cheesy grabbing that missile. And then Audra's going down, presumably toward Croc. And then Cheesy will be right behind. So this is interesting that Audra seemed to have taken the lead again here because, oh, Cheesy's saving, presumably setting up for high jumpless lava dive with 2 tanks. That would be pretty dangerous. Or maybe just save scumming. I don't know why you'd save scum Croc though. Anyway. We'll see. Maybe just felt like saving. Maybe, you know, sometimes you just go like, I have not saved in a while. I don't want to lose any progress for some dumb reason. So I respect that. And maybe we're gonna have 2 crocs on the screen at once. It's gonna be close. 1 croc, 2 croc. Oh, and one of them fell away. Okay, so we had 2 crocs on the screen at the same time for a moment, for a brief moment. So, wow, it seems like these two have synced up. There's definitely some hidden information that you don't see here. Audra went to the wreck ship first and has defeated Phantoon, spied the high jump boots at wreck ship reserve, and then bailed on the wreck ship to come down here looking for speed booster, presumably. Meanwhile, Cheesy went down Red Tower at the first opportunity after doing the Brinstar farming, I guess, and is seeing all of this for the first time, while Audra's got that extra scouting information from the wrecked ship. So even though Cheesy took those couple minutes lost at the beginning of the seed trying to get past key hunters to get out of LN, has kind of dream routed to get back to this upper Norfair search for speed booster before Audra did. Now, with the only way of getting up to grapple being an infinite bomb jump, it does seem faster to use the grapple tutorial green gate glitch to get over to grapple quickly. Cheesy with the D boost to get over to Croc power bomb. Pretty smooth. Grabs that E tank. Audra also finds an E tank at grapple. Okay, so now we've got 4 tanks. 5 if you include the reserve tank. So now we're talking about the bad possibility of speed being in LN. And Audra with this double bomb jump to peek at Indiana Jones, it being a missile. Cheesy finds another E tank at Cosine Room. So that is a tank that Audra hasn't found yet. So there's going to be another tank, making 6 total. Yeah, sure looks like it's LN next, or going back to the wrecked ship, though. The way slowest progression seems to handle things, probably going to be LN speed. And maybe that's just what Audra was counting on. Saw the high jump boots at the wrecked ship and thought, yep, there's not going to be a speed booster at the wrecked ship. I'm just leaving. Cheesy also spying the Indiana Jones missile. And see, this is the way Cheesy's going to be able to get to grapple by doing a bomb jump on the left side of the room. I think you need to be out one more platform. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Okay, Audra's leaving the Croc area. Having left some things behind, but probably feeling pretty confident that it's LN. Yeah, going to the right here. Looks like Audra's gunning for LN. Oh boy. Now the worst room in the game options here are to just do the hypo jump, of course, or spring ball wall jump, or IBJ. So none of those a great way of doing the worst room in the game. But I think Audra is one of those who could do the hypo jump. Interesting, Audra. Oh, taking the save at Bubble Mountain. That's right. I thought, what's Audra going back for in Bubble Mountain? Oh yeah, the save. Cheesy grabbing a little bit of a farm here before presumably also heading for the lava dive. I think Cheesy's just doubling down here on like going down all the way to LN. These farm bugs for Cheesy being stingy about the supers, but good to take this farm now. Get those supers loaded up for the Ridley fight. Audra's setting up for the bootless dive. There's a normalized setup there, so you can like get this nice ball, cannonball into the room. Looks like they missed the setup that they wanted there. Got to play with the fireball a little bit to get it in the right position. 3 wall jumps off the left. Looks like good height. All right, high jumpless lava dive is good. Audra got it on the first dive. 3rd flame, if you're counting that specifically. They had a good cannonball entry, but then something got tweaked about something about it they didn't like. But yeah, this is incredibly close after all. I mean, they're not quite in the same room, but just the fact that like Cheesy was able to earn back the time lost from the key hunters in LN, and for it to be this close is pretty good. Okay, let's see how this worst room in the game goes here. People have been sharing about some of the different worst room in the game strats with hypo jump lately, so it looks like Audra's setting up just to kill this guy. And oh, it's an IBJ. Okay, so using the double IBJ, Audra's going to be able to get up this room pretty quick. I wish I could do IBJs like that. Okay, now that we're in LN. Oh, and here's Cheesy's lava dive. Oh, missed the final jump. But still plenty of health left. Oh, I was holding my breath there for Cheesy. Oh. Yeah, Mickey Mouse was just a power bomb after all. I think Cheesy still has enough health to get through. Doing that 2-jump method. Oh, but too high. Too high, got killed by the flame. He saved a bubble mountain, so he's able to try again, but bleeding time against Audra, who's just charging ahead. Taking the save. No shame in saving before Ridley and super fun lower Norfair rooms. The high jump boots are at Wreck Ship Reserve, and no one has found speed yet. So one of the theories is that speed booster is behind Ridley. So that's where we are right now. Audra went to the wreck ship, defeated Fantoon, and spotted the high jump boots at Wreck Ship Reserve, but did not check all of the wreck ship items. So either it seems that speed booster's in lower Norfair, not at Powerbomb's a shame though. Or speed booster could be at one of the wreck ship locations, though that's not really the slowest thing to do, is it? So yeah, good theory that speed booster's just behind Ridley, or maybe behind GT. Oh, Cheesy taking that flame hit. Oh, nice strat through the farm room with spring ball by Audra. Okay, we're having our first Ridley fight. We will see what's behind Ridley. Pretty canny of Audra to just gun it for Ridley, though, because then if it turns out that speed is at GT, I mean, you got to go there anyway, but if speed is not at GT, then you've taken the faster route. So okay, with all those supers, Ridley's down real quick. Let's keep an eye on Audra. Oh, Cheesy did finish the lava dive. Good, good. And then Audra's checking Ridley's item. Is it speed? It is. All right. Well, okay. So, we found speed. So we have high jump boots at Wreck Ship Reserve. That's next. However, just having high jump with spring ball is not enough to get through all of Suitless Meridia. So there must be an ice beam or a grapple. Possibly space jump. Can't get you back. Can get you through everything else. Anyway, there are still some things to find. So Cheesy's going over to GT first. Kind of doing the more completionist route through LN here. But if he finds nothing, he might just reset. Just E-tanks. And it is going to reset. Okay. Well, I do respect Cheesy being a little bit cautious about making sure that he checks everything in LN before leaving, so can't fault that. It'll be interesting to see if Audra just goes forward or if they decide to like go do GT also, looking for those last Suitless Meridia items. But man, the way Hardway to Hell can go, you sure feel like that it's gonna be like worst possible Mount Everest. Like, okay, you're probably gonna find your last Suitless Meridia item behind Bot Wound. So yeah, I think Ice behind Bot Wound is a good guess. This is full rando, by the way, Ninja. Ninjo. But yeah, this seed has revealed itself. Here we are again at the Fire Fleas room. Audra having a little bit of a Groundhog Day moment here, having to do these rooms again, now that we actually have more items. And Audra grabbing a Crystal Flash for a refill. Nice awareness. And to have the ammo count to do it too. Cheesy turning off Spring Ball for the Spring Ball wall jump here. Looks like a good morph. And the Spring Ball jump for the worst room in the game. Probably even faster than IBJ. Okay, while Cheesy's at Mickey Mouse, Audra is leaving LN with full knowledge of where the high jump boots are, but we do not know where the rest of the Meridia access is. So we'll see how much of the wreck ship Audra decides to check. Or if they just bank on everything being downhill on the seed, and it might be that you know, the rest of Suitless Meridia is behind Botloon. Cheesy in the amphitheater. Nice dodges. And dodges the last pirate, so he's out of that harm's way. Wonder if we'll see X-ray. That could, yeah, that could be helpful. Well, there's not really any more required X-ray things that could happen. Although I say that, yeah, you wouldn't be able to get to Spring Ball without ice. So if you had ice, you could finish the seed. So I don't think there's any more required X-ray things in this seed. But it's a fun thought. Sometimes fun to do the thought experiment of like, well, hey, is X-ray going to matter for maybe X-ray climbing out of Dragon or X-ray climbing to Spring Ball? But usually no. In this case, we already have Spring Ball, which is a pretty strong way of getting out of Dragon. People are saying you need something else for Coliseum. Ice, space, or grapple. Sounds right. Hey, thanks for the update, Anthony. You can only get halfway up halfy climb with spring ball jumps. Can you finish halfy climb with space jump? Oh, right. Logic requires ice, space, or grapple. So yeah, if you had space jump, you could probably get up that room, right? Oh no, Audra with the fall. Trying to spark across the moat. There's the spark. Alright, Cheesy taking a bit of a time to farm here. Not too bad with this beam combo. Wants to have those 30 supers, I presume. So Audra, returning to the wrecked ship, having found Speed Booster. We'll see if it's just gunning it for high jump boots and then leaving. Of course, if you're already at gravity, might as well grab 3 items. Let's see if there's anything else good at gravity. Meanwhile, Cheesy hopping into the Ridley fight. Plenty of power bombs too, so there's no real danger of running out of ammo here. Okay, Ridley down. Number 2. Cheesy is finding Speed Booster. So wow, it's amazing to think that, you know, Cheesy was saving for the lava dive as Audra was entering LN, but now Cheesy's leaving Ridley as Audra's picking up the high jump boots at Wreckship Reserve. So it's just so much that happens, and a lot of great movement by Audra. So much respect for that. Cheesy grabbing that farm from the Metal Pirates. Let's see, Cheesy's using some power bombs in Wasteland here to try and set up a... Wasteland is so dumb sometimes. Alright, and he's there. Audra taking the refill at the landing site after grabbing those high jump boots. And I think gravity was just a missile. I didn't see what was at the gravity missile. Chozo. But looks like Audra's just banking on finding the rest of the good stuff in Meridia. The Chozo was empty. Thank you. Gotta love the different manips that exist for these key hunters. Oh, Cheesy getting smacked in the face by that key hunter though on the way up. Good question. Who's in the grand finals? Nick Player is the only other runner left, so the winner of this match will play against Nick Player for the final match of this tournament. And if Nick Player loses that, you know, they talked about that bracket reset like we saw in the Hundo finals. So whoever wins this match would have to beat Nick Player twice. Or Nick Player would just have to win once for that double elimination scenario. Cheesy back at the Key Hunters. And with the reserve is able to save the day. Good to have a low amount of energy in that reserve tank so that those look scary right now. Probably would have been dead if it was too much energy because the long reserve tank refill animation can actually cause you to take a second hit from the enemies, and that happens pretty often with a reserve tank. But if you only have a very small amount of energy left in the reserve tank, then it all works out. So, Cheesy's back at Bubble Mountain. Audra's going into Suitless Meridia. Double spring ball jumping up the fish tank is an option. So killing the fish. Now it's just a tank. I'll give you a moment to think about that one. Right now it's the pirate tank. Okay, so the double spring ball jump did not quite work out for Audra on the first try, but it's gonna happen. It's a finicky trick, if you ask me. Wow, the second try didn't work. Okay, I think Cheesy's anticipating some Crystal Flash clips in his future, so he's just farming power bombs now while there's six a pop. Figures that's enough. Okay, this looks like a good upward pause for Audra, so this probably is a good spring ball jump. There you go. Okay. So Audra's through, going to check Mama Turtle. Always nice to jump over the laser. As Cheesy's leaving Business Center. And we're approaching the 1 hour mark for this seed. Still nobody's in go mode. Audra jumping over the E-tank, just the taunt. And a double E-tank at Mama Turtle. Audra's having nothing of it, just leaving. Botwin E is often the last item for go mode. Yep, well. Hey, I banked on it being my go mode before and failed, but it's not about me. Anybody remember that race? Anyway. I'm not bitter. It's all fine. Audra entering Mount Everest with spring ball. Looks like it's going to be a double spring ball jump at Mount Everest. And Cheesy is checking Waterway. This is interesting. I actually I'd counted out the fact that there's Waterway. But this is a good check, especially in a slowest progression scenario. Sometimes Waterway can be the worst possible thing. Okay, this looks like a good upward pause for Audra on the double spring ball jump Mount Everest. And it's through. Okay, toughest part is done. Then you just have to do a single spring ball jump to get up the last little bit here. Or you can double again. Cheesy, the Waterway check. Is it ice? Is it grapple? If it's one of the two, it's go mode. Let's see it. It's an E-tank. Ah! No. Okay. I'm only cheering for Cheesy because it would make the race a little closer. E mode, yeah, there we go. We got E mode happen. We got X-ray, we got a reserve, we've got E-tanks for E mode. Audra's still struggling on this Mount Everest second jump here. I think it'll work out though. Still need something to escape Dragon? No, we have spring ball and high jump. Cheesy has not found high jump yet, but it is at Wreckship Reserve. but with our omniscience, we know that they have a way out of Dragon with a double spring ball jump. But yeah, still need something to get to Dragon. Want something to get up to the Coliseum. Yeah, we're thinking about ice or grapple or space jump being the way in to Dre. Audra taking the Aqueduct save. And presumably just gonna gun it toward Bot Wound. Because if you go to Bot Wound and you just find everything you need, then you don't have to go back to the beach or the sand pits. It's all good. Oh, Audra did not actually save, just reset the room. Thank you, Kai. Good point. Not that anyone would save scum Bot Wound. Oh wait, did I do that? That was probably a bad choice on my part. Audra here setting up for the Crystal Flash clip into Bot Wound by taking some damage from the Metroid. Needing to get down to 50 energy. Then that reserve pop. And one more hit gets down to 10. And now comes the good stuff. Oh, cheesy bonking the moat item while trying to get a ocean fly. Alright, here's Audra with the Crystal Flash clip attempts. Plenty of ammo for it. High jump is turned off. Energy is sufficiently low. And now it all comes down to the right timing and placement. Not an easy trick, folks. I can't hold my breath for this. I'm gonna run out of breath. I'm not a commentator. I can't hold my breath. I have to be commentating. Okay, well, let's just say Audra did not get this on the first couple of attempts, so it is taking some time, but it's time that they've earned from all the great movement through all the rest of the seed, getting those couple of minutes of a head start on Cheesy by dodging key hunters. Great routing so far. Audra with the Crystal Flash clip, and then needs to hold down to break the blocks. And that's done. And then, Bot Wound. Plenty of ammo. Was that 12, 15? Did they have full power bombs? It was I think more than 15. I didn't count it. I didn't note at the beginning how many power bombs there were, but yeah, probably more than 15. But hey, they got through. And let's see what's at Bot Wound E-Tank. If it's progression, it's go mode. Bot Wound E to save the day. It's space jump. Okay, so that's it. Audra has go mode, I believe. Yeah, thinking about it, but yeah, I should be able to get up and across with space jump. Not the logical way to beat the game, but good enough. So yeah, we're talking about now double spring ball jumping up the halfy climb and then using space jump while breaking the water. And then space jumping across Coliseum without falling. Left sand pit must be grapple. Yeah, or it's in one of those undiscovered wreck ship locations. Yeah, so let's recap what we've seen so far. It was a lower Norfair start this seed, and Cheesy took an extra couple of minutes getting past the key hunters and getting out, while Audra did it on first or second try, I believe. And so Cheesy started off with a bit of a uphill battle, but decided not to go to the wreck ship first when Audra went to the wreck ship first and scouted out that high jump boots were at Wreck Ship Reserve. So while Cheesy went, they both did the green-pink area of Brinstar and found what they found. But Cheesy went down Red Tower rather than going back up to the wrecked ship, and it turned out that was a pretty good choice because Speed was at Ridley. So now Cheesy is doing the wrecked ship for the first time. But with Speed on his side, while Audra went and found those high jump boots, has already done the Suitless Meridia up to this point, and found Space Jump behind Bot Wound after Crystal Flash clipping. I mean, that's kind of the story of this seed. You had to go find Speed behind Ridley after doing a high jumpless lava dive. Required high jumpless because Speed was behind Ridley. So Cheesy's just banking on it being Wreck Ship Reserve, it looks like. He's like, oh, I found Speed. It's gotta be Wreck Ship Reserve. That's funny. This does give me a warning, can't come back with Dragon, though. Yeah, but you have Space Jump. Yeah, Speed was at Ridley E-Tank. So the whole seed was locked behind Ridley. And then high jump boots were at Wreck Ship Reserve. And we found Spring Ball pretty early on. It was outside Wave Beam, the Wave Beam missile. Audra going for the grapple kill here, while Cheesy's going to be picking up high jump boots at Wreck Ship Reserve. But this is the final boss for Audra, and then we'll be going to Torian. With high jump and spring ball, it's a double spring ball jump to get out of Dragon, or a grapple jump, if anybody prefers. Wait, we found grapple too? What, oh, is grapple at Precious Room? Oh, I missed that. That's cute. Grapple at, is that grapple at Precious Room? Must have been, right? And Charge Beam. Hey, we found Charge Beam, everybody. It was behind Dragon. Wow. Holy cow. So, there's the grapple jump to get out of Dragon. Nice. And then it'll be some spring ball jumping to get out of the Precious Room. LOL, LAL, LUL, whatever. Yeah, it was noticed earlier in this tournament, and maybe other people noticed it before, that once you start doing enough seeds like this, that and due to the great constraints of a randomizer, I know Gwen noticed that that it seems like if you don't have a good way of getting back across the Coliseum, there's often an item at Dragon that gets you back across the Coliseum, like grapple or space jump. So even though we already had space jump, they still put grapple over there. And on the one hand, it's like, where else could it be? There's not that many places left to go in the game. So I always think of that as part of the argument that, like, well, where else is it gonna be? We've already gone like everywhere else in the game. So there's kind of two axes to think about for that. But here we are, Audra leaving Meridia. It's nice little wall jumps to get out of the aqueduct. Meanwhile, Cheesy is breaking the tube. Audra is leaving Meridia behind, and Cheesy is on his way in. This is not the final match of Hardway to Hell tournament. Nick Player is the other remaining runner in the tournament. So the winner of this match will play against Nick Player. And since Nick has not yet lost any matches in this double elimination style, whoever wins this match would have to beat Nick Player twice in order to win the tournament. The settings for the grand finals have not yet been released, I think. Usually Colors waits for the last match of the previous week to finish before releasing them, so we're still waiting for that reveal. But I think they're drawn from all the same pool of settings as we've had for previous weeks. Plus anything else that Colors has cooked up on the list. Okay, so let's talk about Torian. Audra's got, and pretty smart to just take the refill at the ship. You get a ton of ammo for that, and ammo is going to be faster than using charge shots on Mother Brain anyway. But we have no ice for this Torian, so it is going to be powerbombing Metroids to kill them. And then the Zeb skip would either be a speed Zeb skip or using ammo. I presume Audra is going to do speed Zeb skip. Cheesy with the double spring ball jump from Mount Everest. It looks like an upward pause. Should be good. And then the buffer jump on the way out. There you go. And then Cheesy setting up for a second double spring ball jump to get up the other hill here. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. I couldn't hit the mute button fast enough. It does not quite look like an upward pause for Cheesy. A little late. Thanks, everybody. Sorry. Shouldn't be sneezing on SpeedGaming, but you know. Thanks, everybody. Too kind, too kind. Sneeze gaming. This race is nothing to sneeze at. That's right. Who invited this Iron Rusty fellow anyway? Sneezing all over SpeedGaming. Oh, I like the strat here. Cheesy using the crab to damage down before getting into the aqueduct. Now he has the proper health to go set up for the Crystal Flash clip before he even gets into the room. Audra on Metroid Room 4. Just some more power bombs. Interesting amount of health here. You almost... I mean, it's nice to get a baby skip no matter what, because even if you want to grab the refill, it's less time spent in the baby room. She's using that spring ball bounce on the snail to get up aqueduct. Audra using the more traditional counterclockwise baby skip. And it's good. But as was mentioned, still want to grab that refill because this health is kind of low. Grim David, no, I did look away from the microphone before sneezing, so don't worry, I didn't get anything on y'all. So Audra's setting up for the speed sub skip here. Those annoying Rinkas. And there's the Shine Spark. And a successful speed zeb skip. So Audra's through's gonna have to use some ammo on the glass. These Rinkas are kind of annoying without Ice Beam. But it'll all work out, I think. Now, with the combination of Charge, Wave, Spazer, it's a non-trivial amount of shots to kill Mother Brain here. If it was all charge shots, I believe that's in the ballpark of... 90 shots? But since Audra has a bunch of ammo to pump into Mother Brain here, it started with 71 and 33, which is almost enough to kill Mother Brain outright. Just gonna need a handful of charge shots. Alright, and Cheesy is through to Bot Wound, the Crystal Flash clip. Oh, 86 of only charge shots. Okay, so yeah, I knew it was something like that. I figured it would be 60 if you just had Charge, Ice, Wave, Spazer. But then you get like 50% more damage from Ice. I figured you'd have to do 50% more shots, but that's not how math works. Alright, Cheesy finding that space jump and continuing to the right, knowing that that is one of the ways through. Just do 18,000 divided by 210 in your head. Yeah, I did not memorize all of the beam counts. I know some of them and then correct based on what I do know, but you know, I was wrong. Gotta learn to do math in your head. You won't always have a calculator. Yep. So Cheesy now doing the double spring ball jump up the pre-halfy climb. Looks like a good upward pause for the second spring ball jump. And, oh, it was a little late, I guess. Okay. Kind of a finicky trick because there's so many things that can go wrong up till the last jump that will lose you time. It's like getting this second pause with the jump in it. Oh, not quite. Audra doing the last phase of Mother Brain 3 with the Hyper Beam. Didn't have enough E-tanks to do a stand-up glitch, so it's just Hyper Beam. And Cheesy's up. With space jump. Getting through the Coliseum. I was like holding my breath again. Ah, Cheesy! And Audra's into the escape. Oh, it's not a 3-minute timer. Is this randomized escape? I guess we'll see. That would be interesting. You think it's Brinstar with that timer? Does the timer change based on which exit you're getting? I'm actually not too familiar with that. Uh-oh. Sorry, watching Audra too closely, keeping track of all the jumps. Alright, let's see where the escape sends. Wreck ship. Yeah, kind of funny. Randomized escape. We're gonna go flying across the ocean with the space jump. So smooth. Those blocks aren't normally breakable. Yeah, I think that is a change made for Varia for randomized escape so that you can use Hyper Beam on them to get out. Especially for the case of... Alright, and that is the end. Audra's timer says 1:21:37. We'd have to go look at the race stream for real to see if that is the final time, but Cheesy also indicates the forfeit. And we'll have to get him in here for a bit of an interview. And we are joined by both runners. GG's, you two.
Hi, GG.
Well, Audra, let's start with you. What was your reaction to the early game?
To the early, I mean, I've done practice seeds, so yeah.
Oh, I guess the wreck ship high jump boots, and we could see the calculating going on in your head about what to skip, where to go.
Oh yeah, okay. So like every practice seed I've had high jump at Ridley, so I was kind of playing around that, and then when they were at wreck ship reserve, I was like, okay, I guess speed is at Ridley. So I was just trying to make sure that I had enough E-tanks for and like supers to not be really slow in lower Norfair.
Yeah, meanwhile, while you're checking wreck ship reserve, Cheesy went down Red Tower, so tell us about your thinking, Cheesy.
I was thinking that Croc always has E-tanks, and I just needed 2 E-tanks to be able to bootless dive in, and whatever is going to happen with the seed generally is behind Ridley, so I figured I could be able to like read what was happening and potentially save time by clearing the ship. When I found speed there, I felt really confident. I was like, okay, this is going really well for me. And then I went and checked waterway and nothing. So I was like, okay, I got to go do the ship. But yeah, I had no idea I was that far behind. That's crazy.
I played really, really well, and just like every decision I made went well for me, I think. So
yeah, I committed to charge like full on when I decided I was going to try and skip wreck ship, because in my experience with slowest progression in these settings, like charge is either behind Dragon, or if it's not, then it's in plasma. So I just had gotten charge and was go mode. So
yeah, you both had the perfect read on it, and really the biggest divergence was that Audra went up to the wreck ship to check it, and then Cheesy went down to kind of like just go down, and then it kind of worked out for both of you, because you knew to check the wreck ship reserve, and that was gating everything.
That was a really, really weird solution for Happy Climb. I did not know that the rando could make you do that.
You had to do a space jump to get up it. Yeah, that was.
I've never done that before.
It is a strange one.
It's like, I hope this works. I haven't ever thought to try it.
Yeah, I've gotten that a few times, but I always prefer to get grapple there because then I always get in my head about falling in Coliseum and soft locking and having to redo Crystal Flash Clip. I also just like was not executing very well. Like things in practice, I was doing really well with the Key Hunter dodge and bootless dive, and in the race, I think I died like 4 or 5 times getting out, and then yeah, bootless dive. It took me like a couple attempts and 1 death.
Oh, I was worried because you had the best key hunter dodges when last time this was played.
How many tries did it take you to get out?
1.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was about a 2-minute loss or so. I mean, yeah, it was noticeable. But then by the time Otter went up and had to come back down Red Tower, Cheesy was ahead again, and then eventually it just started bleeding away.
Yeah.
And then the bootless dive, extra attempts by Cheesy, kind of widened the gap too.
Yeah, that bootless dive is something. It's like just when you think you have it down, it can same with Crystal Flash Clip. Like every time I think I've got Suitless Crystal Flash Clip in the bag, it reminds me that I'm not in charge of what's happening here. So
Oh, I was scared when I did it because I didn't save before it because
Oh, no.
because I wasn't like I was not totally confident with my equipment set that the major. I mean, I assumed there's going to be a major at Botswin, but I wasn't totally confident with my equipment set and like the way the seed had gone that it was going to be one that bails me out. So I'm just like, I don't want to save at Aqueduct in case that major does or in case that item doesn't get me through Coliseum, and I reset to the ship and I start checking speed locked stuff. So I'll usually save so that I can reset my PBs for Crystal Flash Clip, but this time I decided not to, and I was a bit worried that I'd regret that decision.
Seriously, great, well played. That's a crazy good time for this seed.
Yeah, it was just a really great reading of the logic, the progression, and just knowing where. I mean, now we're knowing like where are the worst possible things could be, and that's where it's gonna be. So yeah. we're starting to see the meta plays around Hardway to Hell and people like, well, better go fight Ridley.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, Ridley's holding high jump, and so you get high jump, and then behind Botswoon will be grapple, space, or ice to get across Coliseum. And every once in a while, it would throw either like a can fly item or like a speed to unlock grapple or ice or whatever behind Botswoon. I've not seen speed behind Ridley before. That was a new one.
Yeah, I like if high jump had just been at Ridley, like I was expecting, then I would have saved for Crystal Flash Clip because I would have been confident that like the seed layout, the item layout was more of what I expected it to. But this like scared me a tiny bit. I was like, I'll still probably follow the game plan, but
yeah, the biggest thing I was worried about is that charge was going to be in some random place in the ship or something, because like most of the time it's behind all of the progression, but every once in a while you'd just be randomly in early game and it's like, oh, charge. It was lucky for me. Well, it would have been lucky for me that it was behind Dragon, but
yeah, a lot of stuff ended up being on the way.
But,
all right, any last thoughts, you two?
No, I mean, once again, well played, Rusty. Thanks for putting this whole thing together. 3rd place is definitely a lot further than I thought I was going to come in this tournament, so I'm pretty happy with that. And next year I'll see everyone again on the hard way to hell. And Kai, thanks for tracking. Didn't forget about you.
Yeah, it looks like the next match is going to be with well, am I wrong about this? It should be with Nick Player.
yeah.
Who's real strong. Should be a good one.
Looking forward to that. I have to win twice, so and like I didn't think Nick player was the scariest player going into this tournament, but after I saw his matches, I started to think so. And no surprise to me now that he's in grand finals. So hopefully I can get my revenge for my league loss. It should be good. And yeah, Cheesy's really good at racing rando for someone that doesn't race rando.
Appreciate it.
Like a lot of your tech, I think, comes from because you've played stuff like Redesign and Cliffhanger Redux and stuff. So
yeah, ROM hacks have definitely beat me into submission a little bit. I was just telling Rusty, who's playing through Cliffhanger Redux for the first time, that I learned how to grapple jump because of that ROM hack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that room.
Yeah,
well,
I think playing a lot of ROM hacks is kind of king, honestly. Like it's got me where I am for sure. I would not be good at this game if I didn't play ROM hacks. So
I'm definitely I think I'm gonna get more into ROM hacks now that I don't have to worry about grinding Hardway to Hell Seeds anymore. So
yeah, I'm sure Rusty's happy to hear that.
we're all happy to hear anybody's digging into some of the really great ROM hacks that are out there.
yeah, and Rusty is building a Cliffhanger Redux randomizer for us. So
no, that's not true.
I redeemed it
Lies.
with channel points. It's
lies.
a binding contract.
Anyway, thanks you two for the great race. Looking forward to the next one. Kai with the tracking, of course. I'm still humbled that we're getting on SpeedGaming, so thank you to the SpeedGaming folks for having us on. It's awesome, and really appreciate it. So thanks, everybody, and we will see you all next mission.
Thank you.